Well, hello there. Hello, hello. It's me. It's Mickey. No, it's not Mickey. I'm not Mickey because I'm not so fine. I'm not so fine I'd blow your mind. I'm not Mickey. But you know what? I'm channeling Mickey today as we hopefully get to talk and share a little bit of Disney magic. Um, I want to welcome you. I don't know how long we're going to go here. No more than an hour. Probably maybe even a little bit less than that. But just wanted to kind of come on here and do a little bit of streaming about this thing we all love so much, and that is specifically Walt Disney World. Um, I don't know about you, but I personally have been a big Disney World fanatic my whole life, as far back as I can remember, which granted isn't as far as some people can, but I believe the first time that I got to go to Disney World was very fortunate to go at a very young age of around 6 years old. And I do remember bits and pieces of that very, very first trip. But before we dive into all this, I just want to welcome any of you who are on here watching live. And if you are watching live, please type into the chat and let me know that you're here. If you don't type into the chat, I'll feel like nobody's here with me, which is entirely a possibility, in which case I will just be talking to myself about Walt Disney World. And I'm perfectly okay with that because I do that on a regular basis as well. Not a typical day goes by that I don't in some way think about the impact and influence that Disney and specifically Disney World has had on me over the years. It impacts so many different aspects of what I love about my life and my existence and the things that I get to do. So, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to be sharing this cool thing right here called Google Earth to kind of go in and look at different aspects of Disney World through Google Earth and even showing some 360-degree images as we kind of zoom in on specific areas. So I want to hear from you about what you may want to talk about, what you may want to see, what are some of your favorite things about Walt Disney World as well. Obviously, this only works if you're watching live. If you're watching a recording of this, well, first of all, I'm sorry. Second of all, you won't have the interaction. So you're going to be at the whim of the people that are on here sharing this experience. All right, so again, we're going to be sharing through the use of Google Earth, as you can see right here. I am right in with at Disney World right here in Google Earth. You can see down here we've got the Magic Kingdom. I'm going to zoom in on that. We've got the Magic Kingdom right there. Off to the right here, of course, we have the Contemporary Resort Hotel, a place that I also have a lot of very fond memories of from over the years. The Contemporary Resort Hotel, lots of wonderful family times there back when it was a very different place than it is now. Going down to the low, I don't know if it would be called the first floor or if it was a little bit below what they would consider the first floor, where they had a wonderful arcade, gigantic arcade. Spent a lot of wonderful times there. So that's the Contemporary Resort Hotel. Then, of course, as we go around the Seven Seas Lagoon, we have the TTC, otherwise known as the Transportation and Ticket Center. Right here, the kind of hub where once you get parked, you can kind of get there, and that'll get you to all the different locations around the parks. And then over here, one of my favorite locations, which is, of course, the Polynesian Resort Hotel. Just zooming around that a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. I absolutely love the Polynesian Resort Hotel. It has some very personal connections for me. It's one of the few Disney owned hotels that I have actually stayed at because they are quite pricey. I've been inside almost all of them and spent time eating there and just spending time at the pools and stuff like that over the years. But the Polynesian Resort Hotel, I've actually been able to spend time in at 2 points and really enjoyed my time there. What I love so much about the Polynesian Resort Hotel is, first of all, its location here is so great. So if we zoom out again and kind of turn the camera around here, you can see that it is very much in proximity of the Magic Kingdom, which is right over here. So with the Magic Kingdom over there, we can see right across the Seven Seas Lagoon. Now this is new. This stuff right down here that I'm zooming in on, these are the new villas. Those are relatively new. And they do eat up some space there. That used to be really nice beach area, but they do still have this lovely beach area over here that you can go to and see right across. You can also catch a boat launch to the Magic Kingdom. But I really love that about it. Now we're going to go into Street View because I want to see if we can get some views of this area here. So let's drop the Street View in here. We're going to zoom on in and see. Oh, there we go. All right. So looking around here, we've got the pool area. A really lovely pool area here. They've got, I think, a number of pool areas. This is not the entire area here. Or if it is, it's changed. Look at that guy having a really great time. But this is the Polynesian Resort Hotel. I'm going to actually zoom back out. I want to see if I can get a slightly different view. There we go. Okay, that's why. We were over in that area. Let's go down to this pool area right here. So I'm going to drop this down here and see what we can see down here. Love this area. Yeah. Okay, it's a little bit of a darker image, all right, but we can see, you know, all the cool stuff they've got going on. They have the torches lit there, so it must be getting on tonight here. But such a fantastic area. Again, the Polynesian Resort Hotel, one of my favorite areas at Disney World to spend time in, absolutely. Now, if you live have a favorite hotel, a favorite place you like to stay on Disney property, go ahead and type it into the chat and we'll take a look at that space as well. And you can even tell me maybe a little bit of what it is that you love so much about that particular space. All right, so now I'm going to get back out of this here a second. And going back around, taking kind of this same little tour that we've been doing, with the Polynesian Resort Hotel going around Seven Seas Lagoon. Of course, we get over here, and you can see we've got the Grand Floridian right here. An absolutely gorgeous hotel, even through Google Earth here. You know, this aerial view really gives you an idea of the scope of this space. And it is such a beautiful hotel. If you've ever had a chance just to take the monorail over here, here's the monorail station, right? Get out of that and just walk through some of this hotel. The grand foyer right here is absolutely beautiful. Let's take a look and see if we can get a photograph, an image from inside there. Let's take a look and see. Whoop, in we go, hopefully. Yeah, there we are. All right, not a great photograph. It's a little grainy, but that's all right. 360-degree view. You can take a look around here and you can kind of see what we're talking about here. Really, again, an absolutely lovely area inside this hotel. Old, you know, kind of Victorian style, I think. I think this would be considered Victorian style, right? Great, you know, very grand, very expensive looking and feeling. Absolutely love this hotel as well. Have never had the opportunity to stay there before. So I just kind of wanted to start there around the Seven Seas Lagoon as we zoom out here, and you can get a little bit of a better view of the overhead here. The Seven Seas Lagoon is kind of the heart of, you know, the Magic Kingdom area, the heart of Disney World in general, because so much is happening right there with the Magic Kingdom, the very first of all of the parks that they ever had at Walt Disney World. Still one of the most popular. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's so hard when people ask, you know, what is your favorite park at Walt Disney World? And my answer is usually whichever one I'm in at the time. That's the one that tends to be my favorite. I'm not going to lie. But, you know, if I was going to go to Disney World and I was only going to be able to spend a little bit of time there, the Magic Kingdom is not necessarily the one park I would go to if I only had a little bit of time. Although, while we're here, let's take a look in the Magic Kingdom. So we're going to zoom in here on Google Earth. We're going to zoom into the Magic Kingdom here a bit. And we're going to take a look at still the most popular park at Walt Disney World. I mean, come on. Let's not kid ourselves. This is the one everyone loves to go to. It's the classic, right? It's the OG Disney. The OG Disney. There is so much to absolutely adore about the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. And I'm going to start right here at this entrance. So let's zoom in here and take a look at what images we might have access to down here in Google Earth. To start off, we've got there's some happy Disney people right there. Right here, you've got the starting area. Hello there, kiddo. You've got this lovely starting area. Unfortunately, they were taking a photograph themselves, which is very lovely, and that's what you should do. Let's see if we can pick a different image here. Maybe if I move the camera over here, let's see if this will give us a different image so that we can see that beautiful entrance, that train station area. All right, here we go. There we go. This is a little bit better, I think. Okay, there you go. You get that beautiful, there we go, it's filling in. The Magic Kingdom. You get that beautiful entranceway there with the train going by, those beautiful flowers. Again, this also illustrates incredibly well one of the things that makes Walt Disney World so incredibly amazing, and that is the work that they do with the landscaping, the flowers, the the Flower and Garden Festival at Epcot is a great example of that. But you don't have to go far at all on Walt Disney World property. Any of the hotels, all of the parks. This right here, this entranceway right here, are great examples of just their incredible attention to detail when it comes to the landscaping. But I just love this entrance. Anytime, usually if we spin the camera around here, you can see over here is kind of where the monorails come in. And I love coming off the monorail or off the boats, which come in, down right that way, right down there at the water, coming in. And this is the first thing you see. I mean, how incredible is that, right? It's incredible. It's just such a great way to start off your incredible Disney trip right there with that incredible view. All right, let's zoom back out here, and we're going to go into the park for a moment to take a look at some of the other areas that are of such great interest here at the Magic Kingdom. And, we got to start right here at the beginning. Let's start right here. Once we get in the entrance, we end up here in the heart of the Main Street, which is such a wonderful, again, you're slipping into the world. You're slipping completely into the world. In a way that Disney did very purposefully to let the rest of the world disappear around you. And let's take a look at the close-up of that here. So here we are in the middle of Main Street, right? In that middle area. And as you spin around, you just see these, wonderful buildings. And again, this is a 360-degree image, so the resolution's not fantastic, but it just gives you that idea of the scope and the feel of this when you're there. Looks like it was Halloween, maybe. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely Halloween when this image was taken. And looking right down the middle of Main Street. Oh, how many of you remember that song, by the way? Walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA. That was a long time ago when they did that song. I don't know. I think they bring it back occasionally. I seem to remember hearing that a couple of times, maybe the Dapper Dans being on Main Street doing that song from time to time. But it was 20, 25 years ago, probably, maybe even longer, when that was a song that they had introduced in the parks. But anyway, looking right down the middle of Main Street here, you get that beautiful view of Cinderella's castle, which is just, such a pillar of Walt Disney World. In fact, we gotta get down there and take a closer look at that. So let me spin us around here again so we got the right view. Going down Main Street here to the Magic Kingdom, or the castle there in the heart of the Magic Kingdom, Cinderella's castle. Let's go ahead and see what kind of images we have when we're right down here in front of the castle. Oh, look at that. Oh, there we go. All right, right in front of the castle there. Love it. I love it. And it's interesting. It's so rare to see so few people. Look at that. I mean, if you've been to Disney World at all recently, you know that this is quite rare. looking around and seeing that few people. I mean, my goodness. But it's also great because we get a fairly nice view here of what this area looks like when it's not full of tons and tons of people. Let's zoom in and take a closer look at that. So, and here the spoke, that very famous, spoke wheel kind of approach that Walt took with the design of the Magic Kingdom, having it all start in that center area and then spawn off from there, you get a real sense of why that's so cool here, because you have that center castle right there that is this incredible, not milestone, what's the word that I want? A pillar of the Magic Kingdom, right there in the center, and then from there you branch off and you go to Liberty Square, you go to Adventureland, you go to Fantasyland, you go to Tomorrowland right from there. Such a wonderful design choice. All right, now let's zoom back out of there. Couple of other things real quick here, and then we will talk about what my favorite park is. And I want to hear from you as well. If you are on here live and you want to share kind of what one of your favorite areas is as well, I would be happy to take a little trip there as well. All right, so back in the center area here, let me get my cursor in the right spot. And so here we are in that center area. And one of my favorite things to do when I go to the Magic Kingdom is to not go off to the right, not go toward Tomorrowland from that center spoke there, the center of the wheel down that spoke towards Tomorrowland. I like to go to Adventureland first, or sometimes Liberty Square, to go to my favorite attraction, which, you probably all know this. If you've been paying any attention to the stuff I've been doing over the years, you know that the Haunted Mansion is my favorite attraction of all time, I think. It's hard to say. I have so many. I mean, I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but I do have a lot of favorite attractions there. But I think the one that constantly is in my mind as being a favorite, the one that, if I went there and I couldn't ride it, I would feel like I lost something, like I missed something there. And that is the Haunted Mansion. That's just the ride that always gets me. It's classic. It's gone, virtually unchanged. I mean, the scope of it and everything and the overall design since its inception, they've improved upon things and added little things here or there. But I love that attraction so much. Others that I love, though, I love Flight of Passage at the Animal Kingdom, the Pandora Avatar ride. It's the only ride I've ever ridden, the only attraction I have ever ridden, where I actually shed a tear when it was done. Like, it got me on an emotional level riding that attraction. And that's the only attraction I've ever ridden that got me on that kind of a core emotional level. So I got to hand it to the designers. I got to hand it to James Cameron, all the people that were involved in bringing that attraction to life, because boy, oh boy, it got me, man. It really got me. But anyway, let's take a closer look here and head on down through Liberty Square. So to get through Liberty Square, we're going to zoom on in down over here and take a look at what we might see if we're going off to the left there through Liberty Square. And here you've got that lovely Liberty Square area. Immediately takes you back to old America, right? Back in the 1700s. And as we travel down here, actually I'm going to go ahead and use the little arrows to move us forward, because we can do that magically in Google Earth. As we travel down here a little bit further, let me see if I can get any further down. Oh, it's not wanting to go any further than that, but that's okay. We're going to pop back up because I'm going to show you where we're headed here. We're going to head over this way, down through this center area and off to the right. And we're going to head to this nifty thing, the Haunted Mansion. All right, I got to zoom in on that one. As I've already said, probably my favorite attraction at Walt Disney World. Certainly in my top 3 if I have to share it with something else, the Haunted Mansion. And this is just great. I love this entrance area. It gets you already involved in the flavor of the Haunted Mansion. And I've always loved that it's part of Liberty Square. But it's also sort of on the cusp of Fantasyland, because it's kind of a combination of both, right? I mean, I would almost say that, the New Orleans one at Disneyland, that building, that structure would probably fit better, the look of it here at the Walt Disney World Magic Kingdom. But I love this kind of creepy goth, not really goth, just creepy stone and brick building here. Let's see if we can move in a little bit closer here. Let's see how far it'll let us go. All right, there we are at the entrance again. Almost. Okay, it's not letting us go any further than that with this image. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a closer look at the front of the Haunted Mansion itself by doing this here. Let's go ahead and pop ourselves right here and see if it'll show us that lovely structure itself. All right, there we go. I bet this will be a little bit better. There we go. Okay, you can sort of see it here. It gives you a bit of an idea of what that incredible structure looks like, you know. It is really, again, not quite what I would picture as part of Liberty Square, although the era might work, you know, anyway. But with it being on the cusp of Fantasyland, I've always kind of felt like it's bridging those two worlds as kind of this wonderful kind of palate, not palate cleanser, but almost palate mixer, if you will. This taste mixer as you're going from Fantasyland into Liberty Square or vice versa. You've got that wonderful Haunted Mansion right there to kind of take you through it. All right, again, if you are on here live, type into the chat and say hi. I'd love to hear from you and know that you're on here and that you can see and hear me okay, because that's the only way I know. It's the only way to do a sound check here on YouTube. To make sure that all of this is coming through. So please feel free to type into the chat and let me know if there's a particular favorite that you have at Walt Disney World, and we'll go there as well. All right, we're still in the Magic Kingdom here. We are going to leave the Magic Kingdom soon because we could spend all of our time here. And believe me, if people are interested enough, I'm going to do these regularly. And we can go see some of these locations in more depth. I mean, the Pirates of the Caribbean right there as we're circling around here. We got the Pirates of the Caribbean, the Jungle Cruise, all those parts of Adventureland that are so much fun. Splash Mountain, that is technically part of Frontierland. And Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, right? We've even got the Liberty Square Riverboat as part of Liberty Square. We've got so much that we could check out and see at the Magic Kingdom, but we want to spend a little bit of time in a couple of other locations as well, which brings me to where I want to go next. So we're going to go to what, again, at the beginning of this stream, I mentioned that, you know, if somebody asked me what's my favorite park, I don't know if I could answer that. I usually say that it's the one that I'm in currently, but if I had to pick one, and it was the only park I could go to because I only had one day at Disney World, where would I go? And it would be Disney Hollywood Studios. That probably comes as no big shock to a lot of you. So let's move on over here. We're going to kind of scoot on. Oh, we got to turn and go the right direction. I want to fly us the right direction. Okay, so we're going to scoot on down this way over here to Disney Hollywood Studios. There we go. That right there, folks, that is my favorite park. It's the one that if I only had one to go to, it would be here because it combines two of my favorite things, Disney and Hollywood, Disney and the movies. And it also has one of my favorite attractions, this one right here, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, otherwise known as the Hollywood Tower Hotel. I love that attraction so much, not just for the ride itself, which is really fantastic. Oh, hello, Magical the Parks. Hey, Magical the Parks. Great to see you. Glad that you're in here, and thanks for saying hi. And if there's a particular place you would like to visit on this little journey through Walt Disney World, you just let me know. I've got the magic carpet ride that can take us there. Captain Bruce. Oh, it's Captain Bruce. Captain Bruce. It's good to have you here. You know, Captain Bruce, I'm going to share this. Captain Bruce, I hope you're okay with that. But for anyone else that's watching or watching the recording of this, Captain Bruce is a regular in the Disney Trivia Nights that I do in virtual reality every Tuesday. And also a massive Walt Disney World fan, just like I am. Captain Bruce, it's great to have you here. The Hollywood Tower Hotel. So, home of the Tower of Terror. Not only do I love this ride because it is a wonderful ride and it's so much fun, but I also love the wait in line. So I want to see if this will show us the interior area. So I'm going to go down here and drop this and see if it will show me anything of the interior here. Okay, well, here you get a little bit of a view. This is the exit to the ride when you get off the ride just before you head into the final shop that you go to after you've exited the ride. Now I want to see if I can get a better view than this. So let's pop back out of there and see if I can get something that's showing a little bit more of the interior of the wait in line. Let's see, where's the front of this thing? There we go. Okay. So I want to see if I drop this down here, if it might do what I want it to do. Whoa! Oh, no, 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 no. Where were you going? Where are you going? Oh, Google Earth, you betray me! I don't like it when Google Earth betrays me. Just a little sidebar here. Google Earth, why are you betraying me? Magical theme parks. Oh, that's what... Magical theme parks. That's what it says. Of course. Says they have original props from the TV show. And yes, from the Twilight Zone. Actual pieces that were used in the filming of episodes and so forth. So very cool. And again, it's one of those things that you only know if you've read a book or if you really know the Twilight Zone really well and you really look in the nooks and crannies. But even then, you wouldn't know that that might actually be from the actual show. It's the real dieharders. Maybe if you're on a tour, maybe they'll tell you that. I don't know. Also, Magical Theme Parks is a champion trivia winner. Very, very good to make sure you point that out. That's very important, Captain Bruce. I love that. I love that. All right, let's get back down here again. And I still want to see if it'll let me in this front area here. So let's try dropping this again. Okay, let's see if it'll drop it. There we go. Okay, maybe we'll get lucky here. All right, well, now we're sort of outside now, okay? But you get a sense of kind of the entranceway here. This is the actual exit to the ride coming out of the shop. I wish it were easier for me to bring you inside it right now. I might have to get some photographs of that for another stream to be able to bring you into that. Magical Theme Park says, saw the Shatner music player. Oh, from the William Shatner episode of The Twilight Zone. Classic show, by the way. If anyone has not seen that, you really should check it out. Fantastic show. And a precursor to a show that I absolutely love right now myself, Black Mirror. I know this is a Disney stream here and not a Black Mirror stream, but hey, Black Mirror, if you like Twilight Zone and you don't mind it being a really, really dark and sometimes depressing version of the Twilight Zone. Like, Twilight Zone was pretty depressing a lot of the time and pretty dark. But the Black Mirror is very much right in that same kind of wheelhouse. It's definitely my jam. I love it. All right, so anyway, this is what made me want to kind of bring us in here to Disney Hollywood Studios. Let's start at the entrance, just like we did with the Magic Kingdom. We're going to zoom right on in here. So here's the entranceway where you, now you can see back here, this is back, obviously Google took this image back when they were still doing construction and laying out, improving the bus area and the transportation area, putting in the Skyway, what do you call it? Not the Skyway, but the gondolas, in there to come to and from the hotels. But this entrance area here is what I really wanted to showcase. And let's take a look at that from down here. Let's go ahead and drop. No. Don't do that. I said go down here. Let's try that again. Where is the entrance? There it is. There we go. Now we're zooming in. Whoosh. You got to make the sound effect. That's so important. All right, so here we are at the entranceway to Disney Hollywood Studios. And I will always have a soft spot in my heart for this exact spot right here. Absolutely love it. It's the Disney Hollywood Studios entranceway. I love how it has kind of a very Art Deco feel to it, very old Hollywood. That is so cool. And it just gets me in that right mood when I come in. Even though I'm not old enough to have ever experienced old Hollywood, but it was a classic time for Hollywood. And that's what I love about what they did with Disney Hollywood Studios as a whole. Especially before Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars area, Batuu went in, and Toy Story Land and stuff like that. The park as a whole had a very universal and unified tone to it, a fairly unified design aesthetic, if you will. Very much rooted in that classic Hollywood of the 1920s, 30s, 40s, even a little bit of the 50s. Magical Theme Park says Skyliner, not at Magic Kingdom. Not at Magic Kingdom, but the Skyliner does go to Hollywood Studios, to Epcot. I think those are the only two, and then to 3 or 4 of the Disney hotels. So the Skyliner is there for Hollywood Studios and for Epcot, which is really kind of cool. I have not gotten to ride it yet, but I have friends that have ridden it. Said it's really a nice view. You don't want to get stuck up there. There is no air conditioning, but it is really quite cool. All right, let's go take a look at a couple of other spots here. That's the entrance. We can zoom back out of that. And as we enter Disney Hollywood Studios here, I'm going to spin us around again. You come into Hollywood Boulevard here with the crossroads of the world, and we're going to get an image brought up here for that, and then I'll zoom in for you so you can get a good view of that. Here we go. All right, so here you are once you get into Disney Hollywood Studios, again, carrying through that wonderful look of old Hollywood as we spin around here. It's got these old, they're very kind of 1950s right there with that ice cold shop right there, the gas station right up there in front of it. Very 50s there, and then 30s kind of through the rest of this as you walk down this street here. Love this whole area here. And then once you get walking down that street, let's take a look at a couple of other images here as you're in the middle of that street. Let's go pop in right here. Zooming on in. There we go. Oh, a night view. I like it. Not great. It's not a great night view because, it's kind of hard to get a good resolution with the low light like that. But it does give you that. I always, that brings up another great point. I always love being at Disney World at night. No matter which park I'm in, I almost always enjoy it more at night. A, it's a little cooler. B, sometimes the crowds thin out a little bit depending on what time of year you're there and so forth and what's going on and how late they're open. But also, I just love the way they light it. The way they light all of their parks is so incredible. The attention to detail and everything just looks so cool. All right, let's zoom back out here a second. And we're going to go to the front of the what used to be one of my favorite rides in all of the parks. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore. They do have a nice, fun little ride there. It's just one that I don't feel will ever live up to the Great Movie Ride. But we got to take a look right here. We're going to plop ourselves down right in front of Grauman's Chinese Theater, what used to be called Grauman's Chinese Theater. Oh, and look! Oh, this makes me so happy. Right there in the center, we've got the Great Movie Ride. They're even calling attention to that right now, just for me. That makes me so happy. Again, the Great Movie Ride, one of my favorite attractions at all of Walt Disney World. I miss it every time I'm there now. But there's the Grauman's Chinese Theater, a milestone, a real. I'm having trouble with what the word is that I'm looking for. What's the word? Not tourist trap. Not landmark. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, whoever sent that to me telepathically. A real landmark of Hollywood that is still there to this day. It's not called Grauman's now. I think it's just called Mann's Chinese Theater, I think. Or Mann's Theater, I'm not sure. But beautiful. Absolutely love that. And as we spin around here again, that old classic Hollywood look that makes Disney Hollywood Studios so fantastically special. Love that. Now, of course, this ride is now Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, an attraction I think is fine. I think it's fine. I think it's a fun little ride. I just wish that they hadn't had to take away an attraction that was so great. They have so much space to work with there, and I get it. It costs money to add a ride, if you can take another ride away. I get that, but you've got space to grow. And Disney Hollywood Studios, even with the addition of Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land, still feels like a park that could continue to grow. It feels like it could use even a little bit more, you know? So I wish they hadn't taken out such a wonderful ride to put in this other ride. There are a lot of reasons why they may have taken it out. I realize that rights issues might be one of them. But they could have, Disney owns so many properties now and knew they were going to own so many properties with the acquisition of 20th Century Fox. Before they closed this ride down, they kind of had an inkling they were going to have that. I wish they could have just, utilized only the stuff that they have. I don't know. I'm torn because then it really wouldn't have been about Hollywood. It would have been just about Disney, and I really loved that they had, showcased movies from all different distributors and all different studios, not just MGM when it was Disney MGM Studios. All right, so let's zoom back in here. We're going to take a look at a couple of other areas here. I have to go to, again, what might be my favorite attraction. Not attraction. What's the word I want? One of my favorite shows itself. And that is this one right here, the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. Let's go ahead and zoom around here. There's the entrance to that with the iconic sign up there. Let's take a look at the front of this area here. I love this part of the park right here. One of my favorite areas to walk around in at night because there tend to be so few people here, right? Now this is obviously, this is in the line, so not a lot to see here. This is as you're waiting in the line to get into the attraction itself. So not a lot to see there. Let's go ahead and zoom back out and see if we can pick a different spot to take a look at here. Let's go try, let's see what it does if we go down here. We might be behind something, but I'm kind of curious to see. There we go. Okay. There. Oh, look at that. Again, memorabilia from the movies. Now, I'm not 100% sure that this is actually from one of the movies, but I'm willing to bet that it is because the tank that is in the back of this space around the other side, maybe we'll see if we can get a look at that, is the actual tank from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. A wonderful, wonderful sequel to my possibly favorite movie of all time, Raiders of the Lost Ark. They actually have the tank that was used in that film. I wouldn't be surprised if this vehicle is also an actual used prop in that attraction or in that film. But let's go see if I can find that tank. Let's go back here. So that tank would be right back in this area here, behind the attraction when you exit it. Let's go see if we can pop down there. Ooh, looking good. Looking like we... Oh, we're in the... All right, well, we'll take a look at this first. Why not? Look at this. Oh, this attraction is so great. It's so great. This is the opening scene from the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. Now, look at the size of this audience. I mean, this is a gigantic theater. It really is. And look at how much they cram the people in. Because this cannot be an inexpensive show. This is not an inexpensive show to put on at all. So they want to cram as many people in there as they can as they're doing this. But I love this attraction. I love this movie. Let's see. Magical Theme Park says the distance from entrance to theater is the same distance from Disneyland to Castle. Oh, interesting. Okay. And Magical Theme Park says Raiders when the stunt man is under the truck. That's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the truck, right? I mean, it certainly looks like the truck. I have not heard confirmation, but I haven't really dug into it. Have you heard that? Is that the actual truck? Because we are going to try and find that tank yet. But that certainly looks like it. And if it's not the one, it's certainly a great creation of it for sure. So again, here we are inside the show. So very cool. I did an entire video on how much I love the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, including my favorite 30 seconds of that particular attraction. So cool. All right, let's see if I can find that tank. Now I'm going to try this again. We're going to go around the side here and see if it will drop an image there. Ooh, looking possible. There it is. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. That is the tank from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade that Harrison Ford was hanging off the side of while his father, played by the incredible Mr. Bond, Sean Connery. It was a really bad Sean Connery impersonation, but it's better than my Harrison Ford impersonation. I wouldn't even know how to do Harrison Ford impersonation. Anyway, that is the tank right there that they were clinging on to in that indelible and very memorable scene in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Now, one other thing I want to mention while we're here is this building right here in the middle with that ladder on it. The reason I want to mention that one is there used to be, at least, and I don't think it's there anymore. I think they took it out. There used to be a really cool shop in there that I absolutely loved. An Indiana Jones shop. It wasn't huge. They didn't have a lot of really unique stuff in there. But just the vibe of it. It was just kind of cool. And I loved that. And the last few times I've been there, that building has been locked up tighter than a drum. So I suspect that that is no longer there. Magical Theme Park says there's also Pull the Rope by the Water Well. Yes, we had talked about that on one of our Disney trivia nights. There's a water well as you're waiting in line, I believe, where if you pull the rope, somebody down in the well says, "Stop pulling my rope," or something like that. I don't know. Magical Theme Parks. Tell me if you remember exactly what that person says when you pull the rope, but that's really, really freaking cool. All right. So, again, I could spend all day long just talking about this incredible park here. My, again, I think favorite park, the one that if I only had a short amount of time that I could spend, if I could only go to one park, then this would be most likely the one that I would go to. All right, we're going to end this soon because it's already been 45 minutes almost that we've been in this live stream. And I don't want to overstay my welcome. Magical Theme Parks, I'm glad that you've been here. We're not done yet, though. We're going to look at a couple more things here, and then we will wrap up. If you watch this video, the recording of this later, and you would like to see more of these, let me know. I'm hoping to kind of do something like this periodically, because this is just really fun. Getting people together that love Walt Disney World as much as I do. Getting in there, taking a look at stuff, sharing stuff in Google Earth. There's a lot of potential here for us to spend time together in Walt Disney World. Speaking of which, Magical Theme Parks, is there a place that what is your favorite attraction? What is your favorite attraction at Disney Hollywood Studios? Attraction, shop, restaurant, place to hang out, anything like that. Type that into the chat, and we will go there and take a quick look at that, because I'd really like to share that. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for him to type that in, we have to zoom in here. Now, here is obviously when Galaxy's Edge was under construction. You can see here it was this. That's when Google Earth took this image. Let me zoom in on that for you. You can see it a little bit better. This is when it was still under construction. But what I love about this image, part of me never wants this image to go away, because I remember flying through this in Google Earth in virtual reality and coming over to this side, zooming in here and seeing this nifty thing right here in the middle of the screen. That is the frame of the Millennium Falcon. And that is so cool to me. I mean, that we have this kind of historical document in Google Earth of like kind of what that looked like as it was being built before that Millennium Falcon, which I think is just a masterful recreation of the life-size Millennium Falcon that you can see right there in front of you. It's so magical. But I absolutely love that we have this to remember the design of this, and the work that went into the creation of that. Look at that. That is so cool. Now, if we obviously drop a photo down here, it's not going to look like that because no one was allowed back there when it was looking like this. But let's see what it looks like now. Again, okay, we got a night one, but that's okay. It's better than nothing, because look at that. Look at that. Is that not frickin' cool? I mean, to be able to walk into Walt Disney World and stand next to a life-size Millennium Falcon, anyone who is a Star Wars fan can understand why you'd be jumping up and down for joy with something like that. Magical Theme Park says there never was the USS Falcon 2000 Year Edition in Star Trek. I love it. Magical Theme Park says, well, it was 20,000 Leagues. Oh, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea used to be Magical Theme Park's favorite attraction. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. That was one of my absolute favorites as well. I miss that every single time I'm at the Magic Kingdom. The 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's just, and I loved that movie growing up anyway. So I miss that attraction every single time I'm there. I'm there with you. But as far as this park, Magical Theme Park said Toy Story. So let's go take a look. Let's go take a look at that for Magical Theme Park. So we're going to zoom back out of there. We could spend a whole bunch of time just talking about Batuu, right? Now, in this image, okay, yes, Toy Story Land is there, and it looks like it was completed by the time they did this, so that's good. So let's zoom in here. Here's Toy Story Land. We're going to pop on in to a ground level here and see what we can see. There we go. All right, there we go. Yeah, look at that. Toy Story Land. You know, it's the most colorful area by far of Disney Hollywood Studios. They really were able to bring a lot of color in here and so forth. You know, the whole toy aspect of it. I love the gigantic Tinker Toys. I'm old enough to have had Tinker Toys when I was a kid. Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe, isn't it? But I was old enough to have Tinker Toys, Lincoln Logs, a lot of the things that they have here, because, and it was brilliant that they put that stuff in the movies and in the land, because that appeals to people of so many different generations. So you've got the kids who love just, you know, Woody and Toy Story itself and so forth and things like that. But then they've got the Slinkies and the Tinker Toys and the Lincoln Logs and Mr. Potato Head and all that stuff for the people of multiple generations that had those toys growing up. I don't know if they still make Tinker Toys now. I'm not sure if they do. Or Lincoln Logs. I suspect they possibly do. And if they don't, that's kind of a shame, because those were kind of cool toys, but they are probably a little outdated these days with all the stuff these kids have to play with these days, right? Magical Theme Park says, every visit I take a photo of shaking my hand in anger facing where the lagoon was. Again, going back to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I know, right? Again, it's another one of those examples of, you know, as Walt said in the creation of Walt Disney World with the Magic Kingdom, and actually Disneyland, because he was not alive to see Walt Disney World open. But for the creation of Disneyland and Walt Disney World, in Walt's eyes, was the fact that it would never be finished, that it would always be changing, it would always be evolving. So with that means sometimes things that we love go away and new things come in, you know, that maybe we didn't know we would love, you know, if we didn't have it. But again, it's one of those things where I wish they could have kept that going and just built other things somewhere else and expanded a little bit more. But that 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride had to be an expensive one to maintain. I mean, that with all of those, I don't know how many actual replicas of the Nautilus submarine they had, but I'm going to guess they probably had to have 5 or 6 of them. He had to maintain those because those were in water all day long and getting hit by the sun and all that stuff, and they were really, really cool replicas. Magical Theme Park says, I am not building a museum. As long as there is imagination, there will be new rides and attractions. That's right. That's right. We got them up here, right? The Museum of Our Minds. The Museum of Our Minds. That's what Disney World, that's what Disney World is for me. I don't know if it is for other people, but for me, Disney World is very much building that museum of my mind, because I have the memories of these attractions that are no longer there. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, If You Had Wings, the Skyway at the Magic Kingdom. There's the Great Movie Ride, as I mentioned before. We could do an entire conversation here of attractions that no longer exist. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which does thankfully still exist at Disneyland, but not at Walt Disney World. I miss that every single time I walk by and see Winnie the Pooh there. Winnie the Pooh, that's fine, that's great, but I will always miss my Mr. Toad. Absolutely. So with that, I think the Museum of the Mind reference is a great way for us to end here, this little trip through Walt Disney World. And again, it was a short one, and we only touched on a tiny, tiny sliver of what there is to talk about at Walt Disney World. So I hope if I do one of these again that you will want to join in and take part and have this be a two-way discussion like Magical Theme Parks and I have been doing. This is great. In fact, Magical Theme Parks just said Toad is in the pet cemetery at the Haunted Mansion. You are what? You know what? I want to take one quick look. I'm guessing we probably don't have a good image in Google Earth of the pet cemetery, but we're gonna check and see if we can see it, because you're absolutely correct. There is at the Magic Kingdom. Am I going the right way? Hold on. Gotta make sure I'm zoomed in. Oop, no, where are we going? There we go. There's Hollywood Studios. There's Magic Kingdom. There we go. Okay. At the exit to the Haunted Mansion, they have a pet cemetery there. And the wonderful aspect of that pet cemetery, which is right over in this area here in the kind of center of the map, there is a pet cemetery there, and Mr. Toad has a place in that pet cemetery. Let's see if we can... Ooh, there's a spot right there. Let's see if that'll show it to us. Fingers crossed. Oh, it's night. Oh, man. Oh, that image is useless. That is a useless image. I'm not even going to zoom in on that one. That's useless. All right, let's see if we can find a different one. Let's try dropping a little bit more here. Let's see what that gives us. Well, that's a night one as well. Might be the same one. Maybe I just zoomed in on the same place. Let's see what happens if we go over here. All night. Dang. Oh, that would have been such a perfect thing, too. I'm bummed. That would have been so perfect. But you are absolutely correct. They have Mr. Toad in that pet cemetery. So fitting. Magical Theme Park says, also inside Winnie the Pooh ride, there is a photo of Toad handing the deed to the building to Owl. So good. Yep. It's the Imagineers, no shortness of imagination. They've got the museum in their mind already planned out. The future Museum of the Mind is right in there. Those Imagineers, they don't miss a thing, right? So wonderful. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you, Magical Theme Parks, for going back and forth with me. I really appreciate that. If you liked this today, go ahead and click a like or subscribe or whatever those things are that you do. But if I do any of these going forward, they might be under a different channel anyway. So stay tuned. I appreciate you being here. And we will catch you next time. Keep that love of Disney going forever. I truly believe that Disney World is one of those places that is, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. We love Disney. Disney loves us. Disney has to make money, of course. It is a business. But as long as we keep loving Disney, hopefully Disney will keep giving us the experiences that we continue to love. Take care, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next stream. Bye-bye.